أن يحق لكل فرد أن يمارس حقه كمواطن بغض النظر عن ثقافته أو عرق أو الجنس الذي ينتمي إليه أو اختلافاته الدينية أو خلفية الدينية.
So another effort in Canada has developed within the Foreign Affairs community, or the Minister of Foreign Affairs, which is the Muslim Communities Working Group. And it's an effort, it's housed here, but its three main objectives are to contribute to more informed, cohesive, and effective Canadian interventions in the Muslim world. It's also to enhance knowledge and understanding within this particular department and other government departments of cross-cutting dynamics and challenges in the Muslim world. And finally, and more importantly, to build partnerships aimed at promoting good governance, democratic development, and human rights in Muslim communities abroad. And so that is one of the ways in which the Canadian government is trying to better understand majority Muslim countries, and also because it knows that to the extent that it does a better job abroad, it can also help with the Muslims inside Canada, and there's an interdependence between the two.
تحدث عن المجموعات الإسلامية العاملة في كندا وذكر أن لها عدة أهداف منها الإسهام في تعريف المجتمع بالإسلام والتفاعل الفعال مع الكنديين وزيادة المعرفة بالإسلام ومواجهة التحديات التي تواجه العالم الإسلامي وأيضا بناء شراكة تهدف إلى تشجيع الحكم الرشيد والتطور الديمقراطي والحقوق الإنسان في المجتمعات الإسلامية خارج كندا.
So my presence here tonight is part of those efforts. I would like to sort of end on a definition of pluralism which comes from Diana Eck, one of my mentors at Harvard University. It's a long definition, but I hope it's worthwhile. And it's not, I would add something at the end because it's not completely complete. It's not complete to me. Pluralism is not an ideology, even though there's an ism at the end of it, not a leftist scheme, and not a free-form relativism, according to her. It is not just another word for diversity. It goes beyond mere plurality or diversity to active engagement with that plurality. Pluralism is the dynamic process through which we engage with one another in and through our very deepest differences. It does not displace or eliminate deep religious commitments, or for that matter, secular commitments. It is rather the encounter of commitments. Such dialogue is aimed not at achieving agreement, but at achieving relationship, i.e. partnership, which was the word used earlier. Finally, the process of pluralism is never complete, but is the ongoing work of each generation, to which I would add the need to not only see pluralism as individual to individual, because we also need to understand that individuals are working within complex layers of identity, often representing collectivities, and therefore representing different groups of people. But the ideas of commitment between different groups also stands. So I would expand to that, and also recognize the power dynamics between these different groups and power differentials being often affecting the way in which this kind of more individual or more equal relationship for developing pluralism works within.
ذكر تعريف للتعددية وهو لأستاذتي في جامعة هارفارد ديانا إكس، والتي تذكر فيها أن التعددية ليست أيديولوجية ورغم أنها تنتهي ب ISM، وليست اتجاها يساريا وليست كلمة أخرى للتعددية، ولكنها عملية ديناميكية تسعى إلى لا تسعى إلى الوصول إلى الاتفاق بقدر ما تسعى إلى إيجاد علاقة لمجتمع أفضل وعالم أفضل.
Let me actually add one slide, because I had a few others, but I realize time is flying, and it's these three questions. in a post-colonial sort of, what kinds of post-colonial pluralisms, do we have? I ask myself two questions, and I don't know if they resonate with you. What identities make up the predominantly Muslim nation states of Nawa, or North Africa and West Asia today? And how are they hierarchized? Because out of that will come the particular pluralist development in each area and countries. The second question, is it sufficient to talk about the challenges of cultural pluralism on the basis of a comparison with mostly Western liberal democratic ideals of individual human rights within national secular structures? Is it sufficient really to talk about this from that perspective? I would argue no. But the third is, what are the internal resources for retrieving a genuinely Islamic family of nation-state models seeking good governance within and cooperation for the common good without, reflecting therefore pluralist values? And that in some ways goes back to my first part, where I looked back at the Ummah, the development of the Constitution of Medina, and asking the questions, well, what are the Islamic developments today? And where can we keep a balance between the family of models as they developed in the West and the development of a family of models developing as we speak in majority Muslim countries today? And I will end with that. I think I have a slide which goes, 1 second, like this. Shukran jazilan, thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. And onen, which in Mohawk means ma'as-salama.
Thank you very much. شكرا جزيلا للمحاضر. والآن الفرصة للنقاش والسؤال والتعليق لمن يريد. Do we need a microphone? I don't know if we need microphone or not.
There's this, I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Patrice. But I have a question. Number one, for me, you represent the other, and if you, and the heart of the lecture depends on the idea of cooperation and integration. So my question is that, as a symbol of the West or the other, what's your understanding of Japan? That's number one, because it makes now are misrepresented by this ideology or by this perception. This is number one. Number two, or my second question is about you are as a researcher, as a professor, your words, I enjoyed them. I enjoyed your lecture. I enjoyed the perception. But I can't judge you as the other by words. I judge you when it comes to reality. This is my perception. For example, I met two Western researchers who came here saying that you are kind people, you are beautiful, you are victimized. However, when they go back, or when they come back to America or Canada or even or Europe, I mean, they misrepresent us, they defame us. There's a kind of dichotomy or hypocrisy. I mean, this is not. Let me give you just an example from reality. I'll give an example on what happened in order to just to show the real picture of reality, which prove everything. I'll give you what happened, for example, with ethnic war and Chechnya, for example, and Canada, for example, is a member of NATO. Your troops can understand, and you have an ideology or a policy which comes up with NATO. I mean, you can talk about multiculturalism and plurality and integration, and at the same time, you do many things for which is kind of I can consider as unjust or unfair for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much.